Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Nichols, and I'm running for governor of the state of New York.
What made you decide to run for governor?
A lot of hurt and a lot of pain. I've seen things that I shouldn't ever have seen as a New Yorker. New York has been the greatest state for a long time. But when I've seen people that are essential workers that went to work every single day during the pandemic. They got up at the crack of dawn when it was still dark outside, and they went to work working shifts that were 12 hours long, 13 hours long, 14 hours long, and more. But they didn't go home to a nice warm bed where it was their own home. They went home to a homeless shelter. New York has failed so many. New York has been a state where we should be the example of how we treat essential workers, of how we treat those that wake up and that they do their job of just coming and wanting to provide a roof over their family's head. And so the anger that I felt talking to so many who felt left out, who felt unheard, and knowing that I, as an attorney who took a sacred oath to be able to speak up for those that couldn't speak for themselves, I was charged with that. I'm going to go and lead the battle and being able to say, you've been left out in the cold, no more. We're going to do right by you in the state of New York. I feel I've got that voice, and I feel that New Yorkers want a voice that sounds like theirs, not one that's got millions and billions of dollars and you can't connect with the struggles of ordinary people, or one that may have come from someone that's been in the system for too long and has ended up jaded and doesn't understand the struggles that regular people are going through, or one that feels entitled because their family name may say, I should be handed something. This frustration has brought us to this point.
Who is Paul Nichols?
I'm the first attorney in my family in the generation. And at this point where I went into corporate law, we had a time where I, in law school, went into corporate law, and as a summer associate working in that summer, something didn't feel right working for companies that even if they lost a case, a multi-million-dollar case, it was just the cost of doing business for them. And for me, the skills that I was given, it drove me to say, you know what, I want to use the skills that I've been given to go and work and serve in a community where if someone loses a case, someone's losing their life, someone's losing their home, someone's freedom is unfairly being taken away from them. And so that stirred me from going from corporate into going and serving in public service, where I worked in the state Supreme Court, especially during the foreclosure crisis, where back in 2008, things were getting a little bit difficult. And we worked diligently to try to keep folks in their homes. And from there, started my journey in the state legislature.
What separates you from the other gubernatorial candidates?
That regular folks need to come to the forefront. We've done already the career politician, those that have been in office for 20, 30 years. We've seen where that has gotten us. We've done the millionaire, billionaire CEO. We saw where that's gotten New York State. We've done the legacies in handing office to those that have already served and passing it down to their family. We've done that before. We know how that story ends. That story ends with housing prices that are through the roof. That story ends with cost of living that goes through the roof. That story ends with single mothers, single fathers not being able to keep a roof over their children's head. We know how that story ends. What makes me different is that we're fundamentally asking the people of the state of New York to break out of that box of what we've always turned to in our leaders. Fool us once, shame on you. But fool us twice, we can't allow that to happen. We cannot do the same thing again and again and expect different results. We have seen homelessness and the trend of homelessness go through the roof over the last 10 years in the state of New York. We have seen affordability go through the roof, but we've had all of those same types of candidates running for this office. So what separates me is I'm one of you, and we need one of us leading this state.
So what core beliefs drive you?
I'm not shy about my faith. I'm not shy about my belief in the Lord Jesus. And that is what drives me. That is what holds me. That is my fundamental core. And I'm not ashamed about that. But understanding that at my core is a belief in people, is a belief that people can do better, belief that people have in them the capability to do amazing things. I've seen those that looked like, they would never be able to make it. And those that have come against a lot of specific oppression and a lot of issues that if you would have put most people in those circumstances, they probably would have given up. But people have a strength in them. People have in them the ability to do amazing things. And so I still believe in the goodness of people. My core beliefs is in understanding that if you present the facts in front of people, if you present the situations as they are and say, hey, let's work together to change this, that I believe that folks will treat other children like their own and say, we can't have children living like that. Let's do something together to change that. I believe that if you present the facts in front of regular people that understand that folks shouldn't be living in situations where their quality of life is different from community to community, that they're willing to come together to change that. I have a fundamental belief that there is still power in people. Power in people to do amazing things, power in people to turn this state around so that it works for everybody. We are challenging ourselves to think outside of the box and to do something and choose leaders that we've never chosen before, where it's not about wealth. It's not about how long you've held political office or what your current office title is. And it's not about what your last name is. My last name is Nichols, but that could mean that there's some change coming to the state of New York. That's who I am. And even in my name, there is a ability to understand that things don't have to be the same, but we can change things for the state of New York. I'm calling on each and every one that is out there to believe that things can be different. If you're looking at yourself and your situation right now and you're saying things could be better, then there's a candidate that is out there that is going to fight for you and fight with you to be able to make sure that not only your life is different and better and changes for the better, but the lives of everyone that's around you, the lives of those that will be coming after you. I believe in New York. I believe that there's a strength and there is a power and there's a resiliency in New Yorkers. I believe that New York can be affordable again. I believe that businesses can come and want to flock to New York again. I believe that education can come and be a beacon for those that want to use that to climb socially. I believe that we can show that New York prioritizes its people with dignity and respect, that we respect each and every one that's here. So I invite you along this journey where we are going to put power back in the people and do the impossible. I'm Paul Nichols and running for governor of the state of New York.